I'm delighted. We've worked it out. Oh,
Woohoo.
we'll thank the angels.
Indeed.
We've made it. I'd also like to thank Amy, she might well still be in the chat room. I hope so. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We are here, and certainly better late than never. Let me remind everybody that Angel Heart radio shows should never replace your legal, medical, nor professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. Please enjoy this session. I hope you learned something, and maybe as well as a bit of laughter, you might hear some new and interesting information. Kayt Raymond, thank you for persevering. And we were both very determined that this was going to happen.
That's absolutely right.
So here we are, and let's start at the very beginning, as they said in that very famous show. Kayt, where would you like to start in your amazing relationship with the angels?
Firstly, I'd like to start by thanking you for inviting me and saying hi to everyone who's on board this morning, and tell you a tiny bit about myself. I worked in the corporate world as a corporate strategist, change agent, and coach in authentic leadership to CEOs and executives.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started having experiences with angels, and it was like, excuse me, this is no, this is not me. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, I'm not on this channel, thank you. And they kept saying, we want you to paint us. And Annette, I was trained as a musician. I was not a painter, right? And so, and even though, and right through history, sometimes when people have been asked to do things by God or the angels or whoever, they go, no, I'm not the one, go to someone else. Well, that's precisely what I did. And they said, no, you're the one. And I thought, okay. So finally I thought, well, if this is not going away, maybe I'm meant to do this. So I got the feeling that the paintings needed to be in watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
And watercolor is the hardest possible medium to paint. And I had purchased an angel picture a couple of years before from a woman who painted in oils and got many, many layers of oils, and the paintings held the frequency of the angel or archangel. And I had bought a couple of these paintings, and I didn't really think too much more about it. Anyway, she phoned me one day, this artist, and she said, I'm coming over to your side of the harbour. I was living in Sydney at the time. I'm coming over to your side of the harbour. I've got a message for you. Would you like to meet me for lunch? And I said, sure. We arranged the lunch. And so I arrived at lunch thinking, who do we know in common, right? I sit down with my little notepad ready for the message, and we're having lunch. We've ordered, and she says, right, I have a message for you from Archangel Michael. I went, oh, that's who we know in common. Okay. And I said, okay, what does he say? And she said you have to do three things. One, get in tune with the pigments, understand which ones make beautiful colours and which ones make mud. I thought, yeah, I could do that. I wrote that down. Two, get in tune with us, pray, meditate, walk in nature, be in silence, get in tune with us. I thought, yeah, I could do that. I wrote that down. And the third thing is bring those two things together and paint us. I thought, wow, well, maybe I could do that. So they've since told me that if you give me things in threes, it really works well for me. God knows why. So the next day I had 3 phone calls, one from a friend who says, I've just been to an angel exhibition. and told me the details. Another one phoned and said, I know a woman who paints angels in watercolour. I thought, okay. And the third one phoned and said, I know a very good art store in Seaforth where they have great paints and they're well priced. And I got off the phone and went, all right, I'm going to the art store. You've made your point. So I went to the art store and I soon found that buying paints was like being in a lolly shop, but at a very expensive one, because paints aren't cheap. And on the counter was a magazine of a woman who teaches this technique in watercolor of throwing the paint. And I thought, that'll be good. It doesn't require skill. I'll join her class. So I said to her, I phoned her up and said, Lynn, could I join your class? And she said, yes. And I said, look, I'm sure you teach subject matter of some sort, but could I have my own subject matter too? She said, sure, just come along. So I came along and we did one of frogs. And, you know, we drew the frogs and then we covered the picture of the frogs with what's called masking fluid. So it protects the paper, makes it white. Threw the paint, and then when it all dried, we took the masking fluid off, and there was beautiful colours in the background with the white spots for the frogs. I thought, oh, I could do this. So then we did one in corals, and I thought, right, I'm up for my first angel now. And what came to me was to paint this angel who's in the middle of a wave, and he's got a map, he's got a little cap on, and they'd said, we don't want wings, that was for another time, we want to be in human form so humans know we're user-friendly, we want to have a halo above our head to represent our divinity, and we want a soul star above our head to represent the body of knowledge and the quality each of us brings. So the angel who came to be painted, which makes a lot of sense, the first one, is called Angel Aloysius, and he's the angel whose quality is the pathfinder through difficult circumstances, which made sense because I didn't know how to paint. And so that was the first one that was painted. And then the next one that was painted was Angel Astarte. And again, I threw the paint and it worked. And that night, the night I had started that at my art lesson during the day, the teacher rang me very excited about 9 o'clock at night. And she said, you know, Kate, I live up on the mezzanine and I go down to my studio. And she said, for some reason, I was prompted to go down to the studio at 9 o'clock tonight. And on the floor was this book of goddesses open at Goddess Astarte. And I thought, great, I've got the name right. You know, right. So that was Angel Astarte, and her quality is she radiates the goodwill of happiness, the healing of grief, and the removal of sorrow. So, and it's just extraordinary. And so, Annette, I've now been painting angels for 22 years. I didn't understand that when I draw them on tracing paper, right? Because they give me hints for about a month or 3 months beforehand, before I start a new angel. They give me hints. Wow. And I put all the little hints in a plastic A4 pocket. And when I feel like I've got enough hints, like what they want, I'll get all the hints out and I get the tracing paper out and I start to draw. And if I draw a line that's correct, I just get a yes in my heart knowing. If I draw a line that's incorrect, I get a no and I rub it out, I erase it. And then if I do a line that's half correct, I'm told through heart knowing which part of it to erase. It never occurred to me that the angels were telling me what to do. So what I came to understand was that, and the other thing is I could see this little group up here of shimmering light, right? I knew they were angels and I thought, well, maybe they come in and help me paint, you know, because you've heard we've all heard of stuff like that. I thought, well, maybe they're painters and artists, you know, they just come in and paint. And I came to understand that when I put paintings out for people, they'd say things like, well, I like the look of that one over there, but this is the one I'm to work with. And I'd think, how do they know? And of course, what they were doing, their heart was turning into the quality of the angel that was painted. So what I came to understand was that the angel who's being painted shines his or her light into my third eye, my heart, and my hands. And that goes into the painting, so that the quality of the angel is embedded in the painting. And what they were called in the Renaissance time is sacred embodiments of divine truth and qualities. So that's why people recognize, they go, this one, oh, that one's for me, I know, yeah. Right. So that's how it seems to work. And I was having a spiritual clearing with a friend one day, because I still thought this group up here were painters and drawers. And I was having a spiritual healing with a friend who's a trance medium, and so she can leave her body and an angel could come in and talk with you, right, while she's doing all this. And she said to me, oh, an angel wants to come in and talk to you. I went, okay, while she was clearing my energy field. Anyway, the angel came in and said, we want to clear up something you've made a mistake about. And I thought, oh no, I've been working so hard on this, I've been doing my best. Anyway, he said, you know that group up there that you think are painters and artists and drawers? And yes, they're not. They're angel art directors. Excuse me, angel art directors. What do they do? And so they discuss between them and with the angel being painted, does that quality, does that line Kayt has drawn, does that paint shade truly represent the quality of the angel's frequency? So that's how the paintings happen. Right. And then I started getting words and so on. And now I've got a book with 4 publishers actually, and 2 seem to be taking it seriously. So hopefully I'll be able to ring you up, in whatever time. I'm going with the process at the moment and say, yes, someone's going to publish the book. So we're trusting the process at the moment, Lovely. So you have been painting angels for over 20 years. So it's still the same process, Kayt? You still get the messages, so to speak, and you gather the information, and then over time. I gather the information over time. One angel has been giving me hints now for about 15 years. What? She's one of the qualities of romantic love. Mm-hmm. And I said I was getting all these, hints, and she wants flowers everywhere and a border of flowers, and she wants to be on a swing. And so I've got all these hints, but I was in Oxford at a singing workshop, jazz and so on, singing workshop. And after the workshop, I was walking down the street in Oxford, and I got this vibe, go across the street. Oh, okay. So I went across the street to one of those little boutiques, So I stood at the door and said, okay, what am I to look at? And it was and I get these messages not in my mind, but in my knowing, I better walk over there. So I went to this stand of cards and I turned the cards around, and I'd asked this angel who wants to be painted on the swing how she wants her hair done. And there was this picture of a woman with like pins all looped up behind how she, it was going to be plaited and this and that. And it was like, I want my hair like that. Okay, that's one, but don't leave, there's something else here. So I turned it, and then I found someone on a swing with vine leaves growing up the swing, up the rope. And it was like, I want vine leaves on my rope. I was like, oh, okay, because I hadn't worked that out. So I bought the 2 of them. They're in her file. When she's going to be painted, not sure. What an amazing journey. I think it's like doing a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? Yes. And they're remarkable, really. They're lovely friends and great beings to call on. So basically, I call on them every morning. I discovered I'm working with a choir of angels called the Angelic Choir, right? There's 77 of them, 10 are archangels and the rest are angels, all to be painted, and all of them doing different qualities. And of course, if you call on, I've painted Michael and Gabriel and Raphael. I'm just about to paint Uriel. You know, if you call on any of those 10 archangels, you can contact any angel in the angeldom, you know. So it's a good choir to know. Good angel choir to know for everyone.
So have you painted the same angel more than once, or is it no?
No, each angel, they're very specific, right? For example, with Angel Dimitrius that you can see behind me, he wanted to be painted by the side of a road in moonlight with rocks and trees. And he says he's very fond of the moon and he wanted the moon in it, right? So I don't know if you can see the moon, but the moon's in it. Right. And so Angel Cassandra, that's all about his quality, which is self-worth, self-valuing and self-trust on the road of life, right? Angel Cassandra, who's a very beautiful angel, she is the one who, her quality is helping us to live our essence and helping our charisma to come forth so it warms us and those we meet. And she wanted to be painted lying on her side with her elbow up, right? And she wanted to be painted with a book in front of her on some rocks in this sort of Grecian setting, right? So the painting was all happening. Her halo is a completely different colour to Demetrius and Soul Star's very exotic looking halo. And her legs, her feet have got, the feet are sort of over the edge of the thing that she's lying on. And her feet have got beautiful sandals on. Now, when I was about to draw the sandals, I said, now Cassandra, I just speak to the air. Now, Cassandra, do you want strappy sandals or sexy sandals? Fancy asking an angel, does she want sexy sandals? But anyway, someone helped me to do the sandals, I think. And actually, they're really gorgeous. They're very precious. And I went, they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. And I heard in my heart, divine design. Anyway, Cassandra wanted this clip in her hair. She's got this sort of flowing, long, blondie grey hair. And I kept saying, Cassandra, you can't have a clip in your hair. You're a divine being. You'll look like a 12-year-old. No, she wanted this clip, you know. So I painted the clip, fine. That was the last thing to be painted, and the painting looked fine. And then about 6 months later, a girlfriend who's a clairvoyant called by and she said, oh, Cassandra, do you know an angel called Cassandra? And I said, quite well, actually. And she said, she said to give you a message. I went, oh, okay. She said, clip hair out of the eyes. It's about clear seeing. Cassandra is about clear seeing. Okay, thank you. We've got the clip. So they're very particular.
Right. All right. Now, Demetrius is behind you there. How wonderful. And I believe that he has a message to pass on to people who are watching, to our audience.
Yes, everyone. He came to me earlier in the week and said, look, the radio show you're going to be on, I would like to give a message to everyone who's on the show. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about him and then we'll go to the message. Yeah, I've got notes here as everyone can see. So his quality that he radiates is self-worth, self-valuing and self-trust. So, you know, self-worth is when each of us really feels deeply, I'm okay. I'm okay, and acts from the I'm okay sort of self-esteem basis. Self-valuing, now this is interesting. He says we should value ourselves before anyone else. that we need to have self-valuing. And it's so easy for us, especially as little ones, we're told, you know, honor your parents and do what they say and so on. We're not told honor yourself, value yourself. Yeah. So he says it's an important message for each of us, because from when we're young, we need to be told, value yourself, look after yourself, you matter. And his third part of his quality is self-trust. Now, trusting ourselves, he says, is the hardest one for humans to do. It's even harder than patience. And so, you know, he says if we have self-worth, self-valuing, and self-trust, that's the good life. That's the formula for the good life. Because when we have all those three, our life flows with ease. So this is a time in history when there's a lot going on to challenge us. And so his message to the group and to us is it is so easy to get caught up in the pandemic, in wars, in what's happening politically, and to sort of become a bit distracted. And he says, and what he wants us not to do, he says, do not join mass consciousness. Be free of mass consciousness, because mass consciousness tells us we have to be like this, be like that, or love the Kardashians, or whatever it is. And he's saying, look, get out of the news cycle. It's too harsh. It's negative. It's always about negative stories, or mostly. What I want you to do is create your own unique consciousness, free of distractions, free of disruptions, free of all the programming of the media and mass consciousness. Have people around you who are positive, maybe spiritual if you can, and have people around you who respect you and are respectful. Respected and respectful. So he says, seal your reality. So the message to the group is seal your reality. So, you know, if you want to watch the news, he's asking me to give him, there's a good news program that's got comedians on it, and they only give little bits of the headlines and then the rest is sort of amusing. And that's the project on Channel 10. But he says, you know, like we can actually diffuse our aura by just being so caught up in mass consciousness. And he said he wants us to consolidate our aura and be our own person and have our own unique consciousness. And it's easy for the angels to help us that way.
Well, that's an interesting message, because I believe, Kate, that so much that's happened in the last 12 months has been leading us exactly to that situation, to be able to stand in our own power and our own beliefs, regardless of what might be being said elsewhere.
Yes. So that's why his qualities of self-worth, self-valuing, and self-trust are so critical. You know, he's a good... Now, we can do a little meditation with him if you'd like, or we can talk about other things, whatever way you want to go.
Well, isn't that wonderful? I think a meditation would be fantastic.
All right, here, get strapped in. And so, so if you're comfortable closing your eyes, being relaxed, feet on the floor preferably, or in a relaxed position, and hands upturned or down, whichever you're most comfortable with. So what he would like us to do is to open our hearts, to expand our heart chakra, to let it glow around our body. And when everyone's comfortable with that, move your awareness now to the throat chakra and expand the light of that chakra around the body. And then when each person is ready and in your own time, bring your awareness to your third eye. Expand the third eye so it's light-filled, so that we've got a column of white light happening here from the heart center to the throat center to the third eye. Now let's bring our awareness to the crown center at the top of the head. Let's expand the crown center so that it glows its light out around the body and becomes part of the column of light. And then when we're ready, taking our awareness to about, just above our head to our soul star and expanding that light. That's our soul star. It's our connection on high. It's our connection to us. Expand that light so that we've got a lovely column of white light going on here. From the heart to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown, and now the star center. And when everyone's ready, and in our own time, let's bring our awareness back down from the soul star above the head, through the crown chakra, to the third eye, the throat, and the heart. And we rest in the heart for a little while. And then when we're ready, and at our own pace, noticing, just through feeling, seeing if you want, but feeling's enough, noticing there are some steps. That there seems to be a platform and then some steps. So we move from the heart chakra to the platform. And then we walk down the steps. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we step off the steps and find ourselves on a walkway that we can feel our way along. It's in a field, not too far from a river. And we may notice flowers as we walk along the walkway or not. And we can see up the head or feel up ahead. There's a group of trees, it seems. And so we walk on along the path and amble along until we come to the trees. And there is a seat, a bench. So it seems to invite us to sit down if we'd like to. So we make ourselves comfortable when we get there. We make ourselves comfortable on the bench. And as we're sitting there with our hearts open and maybe a smile on our face, we notice that the light seems to shine brightly around us and that someone is coming to meet us. And we can feel his presence before we see him. Some of us can see him, some of us feel him, some of us simply know he's there. It's Angel Demetrius, friend and guide. And so we sit in silence with Dimitrius for a while, enjoying the easy rapport and friendship with this kind angel. And then, when we're ready, we smile and nod at the angel a thank you for coming and touching our hearts in this way, bringing his quality of self-worth, self-valuing, and self-trust directly to our heart. And though we don't really want to leave, we stand, smile and nod, and then amble back along the path. We take our time, bringing with us his beautiful quality that nurtures our heart and uplifts our spirit and brings us those divine qualities he radiates. And we walk back along the path through the field, the river not far away. And we get to the steps. And gently we come up the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we sigh. We're on the platform. And then we move back towards our heart chakra. And we move from the platform and walk back into our body, into our glowing self. And we feel our feet on the floor. We wiggle our toes. We move our fingers to feel the fingers. When we're ready, and in our own time, we gently open our eyes.
Thank you, Kate. And Angel Demetrius. A lovely, lovely gift. Maybe people who are watching via Angel Heart Radio Facebook page might like to make some comments about that meditation. Yes, water. How fortunate are we to have water at our disposal whenever we need it. Kate, we've talked about your paintings of angels. You also offer people angel consults. When did you come up with that? I take it that was the angels leading you to those.
Yes. People asked me for years to do readings or consultations with them through, with bringing the angels through, you know, and I was like, gee, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this. And then one day a spiritual shop in Sydney who'd asked me to come and run an angel evening, they said, would you come and do some consultations here? So I thought, okay. And all my life, you know, when friends had phoned me with some trouble or other, I would apparently say, it's going to be okay, this and this is going to happen. And I always forgot what I said. I didn't know I'd said it. And they'd ring me up and say, you know, you told me this and this. And I'd go, not really. And they go, well, it's happened. You did tell me that. And I had this as a little girl, you know, like I was 3 and my mother was pregnant with my little sister. Well, pregnant with a baby. We didn't have ultrasounds back there. And I would say as a 3-year-old who anyone who visited, little Anne's coming to live with us, and everyone would sort of roll their eyes like, yeah, right. So anyway, when little Anne was born, she got 3 names, one from the father, one from the mother, and I was insistent because I said she was coming, that she'd be called Anne. So apparently all my life I've given messages, you know. So I went to this spiritual shop and they'd booked in all these people for angel consultations. And the third person who came was a Qantas steward who, when he's not being a Qantas steward, he sat down and he looked at me in a really quizzical way and he said, I'm a psychic. I've been practicing for 15 years. And I thought, lol, I've been practicing for 15 years. Okay, trying to look as calm as possible. And he said, I was outside this store and this spiritual shop, and Archangel Michael told me to come in and have an angel consultation with you. I went, okay, I'm up for it, you know. So that's how it started. And the day went really well and people gave good feedback, and some extraordinary people came. One was a madam at a brothel and she wanted an angel consultation, and they were very good with her. There was no judgment. They just gave her the advice that she needed about the issues in her life. So, you know, all sorts of people either phone me or they go, you know, if you go on my website, Kayt Raymond, RAYMOND.com, there's a phone number, or you can send me an email, whatever. So all sorts of people come for an angel consultation and they bring their questions for the angels with them. And whether we do it by Skype or phone or in person, I write down the questions and then the angels choose which order they will answer the questions in. And truly, without exception, people say, that was extraordinary, that was profound. And even you going through the experience had your own sort of, oh, that's good advice, you know. So that's what I do. I love it. I feel very privileged. They're always confidential. And and the person can speak about them or not. That's up to them.
Right. Yes. Isn't it wonderful, Kayt, in this day of technology, that you are available to people globally? As long as somebody can reach out to you, whether it be over the phone or over the internet, you're there to give them a consultation, which I can speak personally and say, sure, it gave me a lot of clarification and validation for what I've been thinking and feeling recently. So I'm incredibly grateful.
And some good ideas I seem to remember that you received as well. So good. I'm glad you're grateful. I just felt privileged to do it for you. So, that's how it flows, really.
Indeed, yes. I think it's really important for people to realise the support that we have both on this earth from earth angels such as yourself. We also have support all around us from angels, and I think that's an element of life that some people might be unaware of, and we tend to forget that we can call on the angels, that we do have to call on them. They're there ready to assist us. However, we have to reach out and ask for that assistance.
Look, you're so right. And people mostly aren't aware of how many angels. They have their own choir of angels. Each of us has our own choir of angels. So, everyone thinks we have one guardian angel. Actually, we've got 4. One is with us all the time. So one is behind you and up a bit. One of mine is behind me and up a bit. The other 3 sit out in the soul space and guard it and look after our purposes that we came to live, our projects we came to do, our truths we came to learn, etc. And they rotate. It's like shift work, really. They're with us 24/7. And one of the 4 is the one that if we cry out to God, now we may not be aware that we've done it. We may not be aware because we didn't do it with our mind, but our heart called out to God. And if our heart called out to God about a particular thing, then there's one guardian angel who will go to God with the message and bring back the answer and feed the answer into us. And, you see people go, oh, that thing I was worried about. No, look, I've come to terms with it. I've realized I need to do this, and I feel quite fine about it now. We see people say this, and that's why. The other thing I would say is that the guardian angels do a few things. One is they look after our needs. So if during the day, they seem to coordinate what we need to do and be and so on. That's number 1. Number 2 is they talk to other guardian angels and they coordinate between the humans. So those times when we're in town, we don't know one of our best friends is in town, and our guardian talks to their guardians and says, get yours to walk around the corner this way, I'll get mine to walk this way. And we go, oh, what a nice surprise, when we bump into the person. So that's a coordination role where my people talk to your people, basically, And the third thing they do is if we as humans really want a particular angel to help us and we don't know the angel's name, say, and you hear this, people say this, they go, give me peace. I just want some peace, And so what the guardian does is go off, connect to the angel of peace, bring the frequency back into our energy field and our mind, body and spiritual being. And after a while, we start to feel peaceful. So, the point I'm leading to is if we need a particular angel and we don't know but the name the angel has, we can just say, I need the angel for clarity, or I need the angel for wisdom, or I need the angel for compassion, or I need the angel for patience. And our guardian will get that angel for us. I think it's a great system.
Absolutely.
Really.
Ah, indeed. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Kayt, I would like to thank you very, very much for being with me today and sharing all that you have with our wonderful audience on Angel Heart Radio. The beauty of this is that if people have, well, especially with the meditation, if they liked what they experienced, then of course they can go and enjoy the replay, because the video will sit up on Angel Heart Radio as well as YouTube for us to enjoy over and over. So I think that's the wonders of technology.
May I say one more thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Earlier this week, one of the angels from the choir gave me a blessing to give to everybody. And the angel explained that if you work with this particular choir of angels and archangels, and if you work with the angels generally, this is what your life becomes. And so, you know, you or your audience may want to just lower your eyes or close your eyes, but this is the blessing that they gave for you. May you smile from the love of God's grace. May your tears be ones of joy. May you live your essence and flourish. May your gifts touch the world and change it. May you face what needs to be faced. Step up and own your strength. May you welcome renewal and transform. May your heart express its calling and your purpose give you meaning. May you hear your soul's yearning, level up and shine your light. May sunshine give you warmth and sustain you. May fair winds greet your days and peace hug your nights. May life unfold you and uplift you. May success and accomplishment be yours. May positive abundance embrace you and true love and friendship surround you. May you know that you are loved and are loved. And may the angels and archangels bless you every day, every night, always.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Kayt. I'd also like to thank Amy, because she was there when we needed her in the beginning, and she's there now saying that this has been a lovely show. Thank you for the meditation. I needed the reconnection very much.
Lovely. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, the wonderful Annette. Thank you to all who are listening and watching. Thank you to the angels.
Indeed, yes. So the angels are so important, as is every one of us. So thank you, people, for joining us, and may you continue to shine your own light to make a difference in the world every moment, every day.